Could make a trip very easily as other aerial transportation systems from here to Baltimore or from here to the moon.
Carr claimed to have been shown secret theories and techniques of Nikola Tesla. There is no independent corroboration of Carr's story. Later, Carr claimed to have seen 3 electrically charged UFOs, which inspired him to use Tesla's theories to create a new form of propulsion.
We can accelerate with tremendous velocity.
I was selected, and I had 2 other engineers with me when we got on board.
Ralph and 2 engineers were the first passengers.
I had an experience on board of this 45-foot craft.
Could you describe the experience?
Sure. When we got on board, and Carr said, what we're going to do is we're going to vibrate this craft to that particular frequency, the color of aquamarine. So they fired it up, and this thing turned into this beautiful, brilliant aquamarine. And the whole craft inside was all lit up. And then he said, okay, that's it. He says, come on down to debriefing. That's the end of the experiment.
Ring remembers the entire experience lasting only 15 seconds. But that short period of time encompassed something much more phenomenal.
And he said, what you did was you went downrange 10 miles and you came back. You resonated here for about 5 to 10 seconds, and where you were was probably equate to about 15 minutes. He said, well, check your pockets. And we had these little jumpsuits on, and we emptied our pockets out. And there were stones and sticks and grass and everything. We piled it up on his desk. And he said, well, where'd that come from?
The debris Ring found in his pocket was allegedly from an area 10 miles from the testing site. He asserts he did not have it before the testing of the craft.
How come we don't remember it? And he said, well, because the brain, it's reached its optimum capacity.
Were there any external witnesses, extrinsic to the event itself?
Yeah. He was a police officer in Apple Valley at the time. And him and his buddy saw this craft. I looked up on my email, and the guy says, did you have jumpsuits on? And yeah. And he says, well, I think we saw you guys. I mean, you just were there for a few minutes and you left.
They had no idea what was going on. They felt a vibration. 2, there was a bright blue light. 3, they wound up 10 miles away with no sense of movement or any memory of flying there. What does that sound like? It sounds very much like an alien abduction. Otis Carr was using the same techniques that alien abductors use.
Could we talk a little bit about, what the fundamental principle was or is that makes us?
Well, the simple explanation I can give you is you reach a resonant frequency of anything, and you then you synergize with it. You become kind of one with it.
Because Ring is not a scientist, he has a limited understanding of Carr's theories, other than that Carr believed objects could be moved through space and time by creating a resonant frequency with a predetermined location. Resonance is the specific pitch that triggers an exaggerated oscillation in an object. Every object has its own specific resonant frequency. For example, a tuning fork in the key of C has little effect on a tuning fork in the key of D. But if both tuning forks are in the same key, striking one will cause the other to vibrate in sympathy. Another example is a crystal goblet which can be made to resonate so violently at a certain note that it will actually shatter.
We have to remember that sometimes out-of-the-box thinking is very difficult to accept, and there were many great thinkers in the past whose ideas we could not accept. People actually laughed at Einstein when he came up with relativity. When the father of American rocketry, Louis Goddard, proposed the idea that we would one day be in orbit and in space, people thought this would never happen. We would never go into space. So I would be reluctant to dismiss Ralph Ring's claims that there are different energies out there that we have yet to tap into.
Carr's theories are so removed from accepted laws of physics that they seem like science fiction. But when experiments producer John Tyndall applied resonant frequency to an object in his laboratory, he was amazed to discover that at least part of what Carr claimed may be valid.
What is
I don't know what kind of resonant frequency Otis Carr was using, but I've set up basically an acoustic levitation chamber that's going to use resonant frequencies to levitate this little flying saucer. This is an acoustic levitation chamber. Basically, I'm going to take this little foam cup and hopefully get it to hover and fly around inside just by using sound waves. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put this into a resonance chamber.
The resonance chamber has 3 speakers placed on the top, the side, and the back, reflecting the 3 dimensions of space.
I have X, Y, and Z axes that I can control from these 3 oscillators. It's amazing how much and how little energy you need once you hit it. Ah, see? There it is.
Wow.
The oscillators are tuned to the resonant frequency of the chamber, which vibrates in sympathy to the tone being generated by the speakers and amplifies it. The intense vibrations set up a standing wave inside the chamber. The cup is actually riding the crest of the standing wave, not unlike a surfer rides the crest of an ocean wave.
There you have it.
Incredible. Wow. Can you turn it upside down again?
Well, we'll try.
There you go.
Wow, nice.
John Tyndall has demonstrated that sound waves can move or levitate an object, which Carr claimed was how he intended to propel his saucer.
When you do hit the resonant frequency, all heck breaks loose. All bets are off.
How exactly would this relate to the Otis T. Carr experiments and UFO technology?
So if he has stumbled upon some sort of ether resonant frequency that we haven't stumbled upon, then there could be some strange things come out of that.
I think it's a big stretch. It doesn't fit any of the existing scientific models that we have, but this idea of finding a resonant frequency to capture, collect energy is an interesting idea.
Theory like this, using sound waves to move an object, might have seemed preposterous 25 years ago, but imagine what we might have in another 25 years.
Guys, after all this investigation, this case on reverse engineering, I have to admit I remain really skeptical. The testimonies we've collected in the case so far, you know, they seem like reasonably credible people, but in each case it's been individuals saying that they have eyewitness experience with some aspect of reverse engineering.
What about all the people we've talked to that are so highly credible? Bernard Tunnell, John Schuessler of MUFON.
They say they know of reverse engineering going on, or they know of people who are involved in reverse engineering, and
I don't see why we shouldn't believe them. How can you reject that kind of testimony?
But we still don't have the actual vehicle.
It's easy to say, where's the UFO? That's our job, is to hunt for it. Can we find it? Next to impossible, because they're going to keep it from us.
The real truth behind the reverse engineering of purported downed UFOs will probably never be known. There is little hard evidence, only witnesses who contradict each other. Yet it's undisputed that reverse engineering is practiced on conventional items.
We're playing with time travel, we're playing with telekinesis, we're playing with psychokinesis, we're playing with a whole bunch of things that are way beyond our human imagination to comprehend, yet we're playing with it.
Could we possibly resist the temptation to analyze an advanced craft if one fell into our hands? And if we did manage to learn the secrets of an advanced civilization, would we prove ourselves advanced enough to use them wisely?